Well, look, is the issue Morrison and Co. re Robodebt, or is it a bigger issue concerning a toothless public service? Extraordinary stuff, this. It's clear even from Saturday's by-election that with crises all around it, cost of living, the failure of the Voice campaign and energy policy taking us into economic oblivion, the list is endless. So the Albanese government wants to talk about Robodebt and totally discredit the previous Morrison government. But the question has to be asked, whatever the omissions of the Morrison government, and there were many, what about the public service? The Robodebt Royal Commission made the point that the legitimate expectation of public servants is that they act, and I quote, with care, diligence and integrity, unquote, and provide the government with advice that is, quote, frank and honest. But the Royal Commissioner of this Robodebt fiasco spoke of, quote, the lengths to which public servants were prepared to go to oblige ministers on a quest for savings, unquote. The Royal Commission also talked about revelations of, quote, dishonesty and collusion, unquote, in preventing legal opinion seeing the light of day. It also said, and I quote, equally disheartening was the ineffectiveness of what one might consider institutional checks and balances. The Commonwealth Ombudsman's Office, the Office of Legal Services Coordination, the Office of the Australian Information Commissioner and the Administrative Appeals Tribunal in presenting any hindrance to the scheme's continuance. Now, given that we've all had experience with the tax office, where it costs you a fortune to take them on, it's clear that as Robert Gottliebsen has written, the whole Robodebt scheme was a mirror image of the unfair way the tax office operates in Australia. Amen to that. So in the Robodebt fiasco, the Department of Human Services embraced the tax office system of justice, where it told the tax office what the pensioners' past income was and therefore their pension entitlement. And the pensioner had to prove these powerful bureaucracies wrong. When the Department of Human Services, along with the tax office, sent out to the pensioner what they owed when they didn't, the pensioner was confronted with a debt on which interest was to be charged. Oh, the tax office don't miss you. The anxiety and disbelief of pensioners was at an all-time high as they tried to sort out how the government had calculated their income and therefore their entitlements, and therefore what the pensioner owed, if indeed he owed anything. And the Department of Human Services embraced the tax office practice of putting a garnishee on a person's bank account to extract payments. That is, you can't touch your money. It's theirs. And they'll take your money from you. There was no properly set up independent group that a pensioner or an unemployed person could go to demand that the Department of Human Services show how they made their calculations. But it's always the same with the tax office.